Hello traders, this is my second weekend video. Keep it under 10 minutes here. You can follow me at Gumby9662C. I'm going to post this on YouTube, so like it if you like it. And I do appreciate all the comments you can give me at the bottom below the video. So please do that if you can. Okay? Let's get to it here. Okay guys, what I'm noticing here, I found this off of Zero Hedge. And right now, so far, the hard data that's come out, economic data, we are actually below what the hard data was reading before the election. So this is a major red flag in these markets. Everything, this entire run-up has been based on soft data. Okay, so we have some very important, critical data coming out tomorrow on managers' purchasing index, and this is going to give us an indication of orders in the future, you know, how strong they are. They might even give an indication to inflation data, which the inflation data over in Europe was up considerably over expectations. So I just want to point that out. So we're starting to see inflation from the commodities. Some other areas of concern, your bank index. We are at the 161.8% fib extension. And we're kind of backing off of it a little bit. So just keep this in mind. We're finding some resistance at reference resistance level here is on your banking. And let me show you your XLF real quick. And I've showed this chart many times. This uptrend, we are tagging the backside of the prior uptrend right here. So this should act as some resistance, especially since we're also fighting the 161.8 fib. So we should start seeing responses, less upside in the financials here. I've been watching this chart I got off of StockTwits at 2338. Well, we've actually crossed above that now. So we're above the 161.8 fib extension, suggesting potential chance for a reversal here. As of Friday, we poked up right above that resistance line, 2338. So there's a decent chance we're going to see some profit taking at this point. Okay, this guy, it's another chart that he had posted, and the 5260 to 5270 area, that is our measured move on our Fibonacci extensions. And I want to show you, based on that guy's levels on the fib extensions, we are only 3 days above his range. So this is very precarious that the markets just may not have any more fuel in the tank. And his final chart that I want to point out, the VIX versus the VXV, and it had a really big up day, couple days last week. And I do want to point out that first day on Wednesday, the VIX futures contracts rode, and 2/3 of that move was simply caused by that roll. And we're already seeing a back off on that VIX futures. But we did catch some responsive buying even at the higher levels. So just keep that in mind, that at these extreme highs in the markets, that traders are getting a little nervous. Now, I've showed you that the markets are at what should be a resistance level, but our industrials were very strong into the close Friday. And basically, we are testing the top of this uptrend we've been in on very aggressive buying into Friday. And the longer term trend is up a little bit more here on the industrials. So we do have that managers in purchasing data coming out tomorrow. So it's going to be very critical. If that number comes in great, we're probably going to test the highs of this long-term uptrend. But if those numbers come in weak, I'd be really concerned that we might be seeing the top of the markets. Another thing to be concerned about is your consumer discretionary. If you draw the trend line on the weekly tops, we closed right at the top of the closing the closed candles on the XLY. And we have 12 companies reporting retail this week, which is, by all accounts, are going to be a mixed bag. So just keep that in mind, that the XLY is likely hit a top here. Now Friday, you saw a big pop in your XLP consumer staples, but this move was not a healthy move in my opinion. What you saw was Kraft Heinz pull their bid from Unilever, which is a British company, and several other companies in the sector, thinking that Kraft Heinz is going to look for something else to buy out, rallied huge Friday. And this is not healthy at all. And even Unilever rallied huge. And from what I understand, it was down over 8% in Europe today. So I don't know what the closing price was. So just keep that in mind that when you know, with news like that and stuff's going up, there's a euphoria going here that even the bad news is being bought, and that's a very serious sign of a top. Another area to really keep on your watch is your XLB, your materials sector, because if we come in with like Europe did today, tomorrow, and there's some signs of some strong inflationary data, it's going to likely put a bid under your materials and precious metal stocks. So just keep that in mind. This is a very bullish chart. It's had an incredible run, but it can go quite a bit higher. And like I said before, crude broke down Friday, but today or yesterday, today's trade over in Europe and stuff, crude was catching a bid. So there's reports that there's some huge bets going on, $1 billion bet, record bet, to keep crude prices higher, and they suspect it's all going into Saudi Arabia's public offering of their oil assets. So there's likely to be a bid under crude all the way into June, I think. Some stocks and sectors that I'm looking at, precious metals and stuff, if we do start getting some serious inflation data, I'm thinking you're going to start seeing some bids in your precious metals. And between gold and silver, I think silver is the best looking chart. So just keep that in mind. I think it's inside the cloud on the weekly, but it's already cleared the clouds on the other time frames. On the bearish side, I think United Healthcare, with the news that came out Friday, is probably going to come down. It's initially going to fill the gap, but it looks like it's probably, given the news, I would not be surprised if it doesn't come down and test this trend line in the next couple weeks. So quite a bit of downside pressure for United Healthcare. News came out today that basically FCX had to close down their Indonesian mine, which is the biggest copper mine in the world. The government levied huge taxes against them because the government's bankrupt, and basically their 20-year lease looks like it's null and void at this point, and so they're going to lose all those revenues from that mine, it looks like. So doesn't look like it's going to be too pretty for Freeport. Tesla, it put in a technical topping pattern for Tesla right here, but there was an extremely good news out over the weekend. First of all, their batteries, they managed with their new big gigawatt factory to slash their battery prices by 35%, which that's very good for them. And then they also landed the SpaceX, were able to launch and land the rocket this weekend from SpaceX, which is it's really incredible to see that rocket land the way it does. But so they had some really good news. So $300 a share is likely not out of the woods. Maybe so we're probably going to get a bid right into earnings, in my opinion. And I'll close on the last here. As far as Dow components go, if we do happen to get some responsive selling the first of the week, IBM is one of my top dogs that I think we're going to get a little bit of pullback to and retest. Typically, if you get a breakout, you're always going to get a retest. Very few companies hardly ever retest the breakout. So that's all I got to say, and I will be trading with you tomorrow. Thanks a lot.